Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody, and welcome to the final episode of the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast. Hey, it's Joe Justice, and I am here to wrap up this incredible year, and I wanted to take a minute to reflect on some of the gratitude and, more importantly, to hear from you for what's coming up in 2025. So, as we're wrapping up the end of the year, we're in the Christmas season and the holiday season, and then we'll be getting into the new year. I'm going to be spending the next couple of weeks really kind of planning out what I want to do, and I really want to hear from you guys. It's kind of complicated in today's world. I think we saw with this election season that podcasts have become kind of the new space that people are kind of consuming media from and learning from. It used to be kind of when I was younger, it was like talk shows and magazines and stuff like that. But it's definitely the case that it's become podcasts now and everything. Along with that, the popularity, kind of the weird thing about that is the structure has enabled all this diversity now. So there's like Spotify. I mean, podcast used to be like basically Apple Podcasts, and then Google had their own version and stuff. But now there's like YouTube Podcast, and there's Apple Podcasts, and there's Spotify and iHeartRadio, and there's like all these different platforms. So I like to encourage people to comment. A lot of people send me messages. A lot of people, when they see me in person, they say, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And they like to talk to me, and I love that kind of stuff. I really, really do. But I really want to encourage you, if you can, please drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of the different platforms that if I can tell you, if you Google Kanawha Valley Hustlers, you will find me on every platform. And whatever one you're a member of, please comment and let me know kind of what you would like to see coming up in 2025. So, just to kind of give you an idea, would you like to see, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, should I? So just to kind of help you out here, my mission statement for the Kanawha Valley Hustler podcast is to cultivate a spirit of entrepreneurship in and around the Kanawha Valley. So my mission is to help people develop business, to develop ideas, help them out with marketing, shine a light on them if they're in, economic development, if they're in a nonprofit situation, if they're at a local meetup event, if they're all of these different areas that I kind of run around in and see people. My goal is to shine a light on them and then also try to help people out with productivity tips, marketing tips, sales stuff. So I guess the big question is, would you like to see and please comment, please. You can message me or email me too, but gosh, I would really love to see some comments, guys. Would you like to see more in-depth interviews from local entrepreneurs and business owners, business leaders? Would you like to see more of that kind of stuff? Would you like to see more advice-based shows on things like business development, sales training, marketing? For example, did you know that there's only 3 reasons people buy anything? Did you know that there's only 3 real objections to anything that you sell? Did you know that people are not driven by rational thought when it comes to buying things? They're driven by emotion. Do you know how to tap into that emotion? Do you know the difference between a benefit and a feature? I mean, there's all of these different kind of high-level business development type things that I could talk about as I kind of develop out a show. Or would you be more interested in more technical things like how to set up Google ads, how to set up a Meta campaign, how to run ads in TikTok, what kind of metrics to look for in your Google Analytics? Is it the technical stuff? What to run on YouTube, what to measure, how to do graphic design, how to use Canva, how to use Photoshop, how to use Premiere, what Adobe Cloud is. Those kind of like technical stuff, which I don't think I've talked to about at all on the podcast. So, would you be interested in that kind of stuff? Would you like a more like a community Q&A type stuff? The more, right now I do the man on the street stuff. It's very popular. Would you like to see more of that kind of stuff? Would you like to to have me go talk to community leaders and do more like man on the street Q&A kind of stuff. What would you like to see? I really want to hear from you. I would really love your feedback on that kind of stuff. So one thing that I do want to keep in mind, to paint the big picture, I first started doing the podcast in 2023. I did it for 3 or 4 months, kind of experimenting, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. I'd have to look up and see. But so I did it all kind of experimenting, and I found some business people that I knew, and we would kind of sit down and chit-chat. And that was kind of what we did. I kind of keep everything to around 10 minutes. There's a million podcasts out there, so, I want to keep everything kind of tight and concise. So what I started to do, every now and then I would just do kind of like a stand-up interview type of thing. And I noticed that those were a lot more popular, that kind of man on the street style approach to everything. So my thinking was, hey, I'll just do all of those for 2024. Now, you might not know, but I started my own business in 2024. So before that, I was a marketing director. And before that, I've done lots of stuff in legal video. I used to do forensic animation, used to do children's programming, news coverage and footage, all kinds of stuff over the years. I've done tons of different things. So I decided to, take everything that I've learned and kind of bring it to the market. I think that there's a good primed market for that type of stuff here in the Kanawha Valley right now. There's a lot of really, really encouraging business developments that have happened in the last several years. And I think that there's a prime market for that. So I launched my own business in 2024. So I've been in business now for a little over a year for myself. Lots of things that I've learned there that I could talk about. But anyways, getting back to the podcast. So in doing that, trying to figure out what to do with the podcast, I started to do the Q&As, and I'd go to community events, and I would talk to people with just me and the microphone. Then, of course, clip all that stuff up, put the short form videos online, all that kind of stuff, asking people, getting insights from people, talking with people. And, I've learned a lot. And, it's been in that now, in the summer, I had the ribbon cutting for my office here. And now, as you can see, this is my new studio office kind of space. It's kind of that I've kind of put together. So it's I think it's a cool looking little environment that I can easily do like these kind of Q&A type videos. So I would just love to hear from you. I would love to know what you would like for me to do. You see where we've come from. We started out with just kind of chatting on Zoom calls, and now we've done a lot of Q&As and man-on-the-street type interviews, especially at meetup events and stuff. Would you like to see more of that, or would you like to see things that involve, like I say, more technical stuff, more advanced business development stuff, marketing, sales? You let me know what to do. So as we're going into 2025, please comment. Let me know. Let me know what you liked about 2024. And I want to thank all of you as I wrap up here and we kind of close things up and we come to an end of 2024. I want to thank you so much for watching, encouraging, all of the likes, all of the subscribes and the comments, everybody that, like I say, whenever I go to events and stuff, people tell me what they love about the podcast, and they tell me how much they enjoyed listening to it. It means so much. Don't ever take for granted. If you want to say something nice to me, don't take for granted that doesn't really mean anything. It really does. I really appreciate hearing all that kind of stuff, and I just I'm so grateful to have you out there and listening. And there's been so many people that I could thank this year. In 2024, so many people that have really helped contribute. I do want to really throw out a specific appreciation to some of the organizations that organize some of the community events that I've been going to this year and getting my interviews. Of course, the Charleston Area Alliance, Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, the Huntington Regional Chamber of Commerce, the South Charleston Chamber of Commerce, Up Next Charlie West, and of course, all of the people involved with Meetup 64, that's a wonderful organizations, all the organizations that are involved in that. Man, I know I'm forgetting people. I know that I didn't want to get into naming any specific people or organizations because I've had so much help this year, and I'm so grateful for all of it that I don't want anyone to feel left out. But I I can't think of anybody else right now, but I know as soon as I turn the camera off, I'm going to think of like a dozen people. Oh no, I should have mentioned them. But so if you had anything to do with my success this year and helping me out and helping out the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast, I want to thank you so much for being involved. I want to please encourage you to like the page, subscribe to the podcast. If you're on a podcast app, share the podcast with friends if you think that it's something interesting. Comment with your feedback. Send me a message online. Anything that you would like to do to encourage me moving forward and to show your gratitude to me, because I am extremely grateful towards you. And I just want to know what we can do in 2025 to continue to foster that entrepreneurial spirit, to continue to help this business development take root, and to encourage people, to help people that are struggling and getting to where they need to be. And anything I can do to help with that, I want to hear from you and know what I can do in my small way with the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast. So signing off for 2024, the final episode of the Kanawha Valley Hustlers podcast. Until next year, 2025, this is Joe Justice reminding you to hustle hard, hustle smart, and hustle with a smile.